Well, hello there. Just going to take 1 minute before hopefully some people can join and the stream catches up here. I can confirm I'm live. Today, obviously, I wanted to talk about the big new deal announced by Rocket Lab, this huge contract they have just won. They just released an 8K form about it. And yeah, it really surprised me. So just looking to talk about it here. Looks like we do have a comment. So, oh, it's Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to tweet this out before I start talking about the news and stuff. But I always struggle with this. Oh, we got a few guys in. Hey, Dave, Francisco, Mohammed, and Itachi. Yeah, I was going to just make a offline video, and then someone was tweeting me saying you should do a live stream, and I said, oh, we might as well get some back and forth going instead of just kind of the pre-recorded stuff. Hold on now, because I just want to again find a link to the stream so I can tweet it and get a few more people in before I start talking. How are you guys all feeling, by the way? Hopefully you're feeling good about kind of the pre-recorded the news. Okay, here it is. So Twitter. Oh no, I just closed something. Hey, we got a few guys in here. Hey, Saeed. Good to see you again. That's a name I recognize from a long time back from when I started. You bought twice in the last few days. Well, you timed it very well, my friend. Okay, so I did do my tweet. Let's get going here. I accidentally just deleted a tab. I was going to show you guys, but oh well, them's the breaks. After hours, first of all, obviously amazing, and we do have to take this with a grain of salt because the after hours, doesn't necessarily open that way, and things can change very quickly. If you remember, after that launch that was successful, the successful return to launch just the other day, I think they were up after hours and everyone was happy. I think we were up like 4 or 5% after hours and in the pre-market, and then they just plunged right at the open. So again, grain of salt, but yeah, we're now up 19%. It's funny seeing this move in real time. Pretty cool to see. But again, after hours can be very volatile. The true test will probably be tomorrow during the day, seeing how it's going to go. I'm very happy about this news, obviously. I'm happy that the stock is going up. I don't know if I'll ever feel like I have enough shares. There's always part of me that's going to be like, oh, you should have bought more. But, if you're a shareholder, I don't think you can complain when one of your stocks go up. Yeah, it's TJ. I was just talking about that. Sorry about that, but and I have not seen that boy buy. I got a notification about it. I assume he was saying, I was lying or tricking people or stuff. I'm gonna watch it. I feel pretty good about what I said. And I wasn't even trying to say necessarily Virgin Galactic, the company, is a scam. All I was saying was I don't think Chamath behaved very ethically towards shareholders. But, I'll have to see what he says before I comment on it. And I guess, maybe some people enjoy the drama and we'll get a few more clicks. Who knows? Did you watch that video? And let me know what he said if you did. Anyway, we have this tweet here. Originally, the first tweet I saw was from the Space Stocks account. So if you haven't followed it, you might want to check it out. Good on them. They were right on the ball tweeting this out, the 8K form. They got in before, Eric Berger or Jeff Foost or even me. So yeah, that's where I originally saw it. And obviously we do have the 8K form here. Is he sleeping right now? Yeah, so we have the 8K form here talking about the news, and they can be filed for a variety of different reasons, but basically the stuff we're interested in is right here. So it says on December 21st, 2023, Rocket Lab, through its subsidiary, Rocket Lab National Security, entered into an agreement with a United States government customer to design, manufacture, deliver, and operate 18 space vehicles. The contract with the customer has a total value of $515 million, which includes a base amount of $489 million and incentives and options totaling $26 million. Work under the agreement will begin immediately with the delivery of the space vehicles to the customer for launch slated for 2027. So not that far out, really, 2027. We're basically entering 2024 now, so that's really like 3 years to build out and launch these satellites. If they realize all $500 million of this revenue by the end of 2027, I mean, that's absolutely massive, right? What are we making right now? Maybe like 68 million a quarter, something like that. And now we're talking over a period of 3 years, like $515 million. Like that's huge. And I'm so excited about this. I was actually working out when I saw this news item, and I'm not going to lie, like maybe I was feeling a little hyper or like amped up at the time because I was listening to workout music and doing some weights. But yeah, I just feel like really excited and pumped about this, and like very happy about it, obviously. Hopefully you all are pretty happy as well. So the other interesting thing is this includes the operation of the satellites through 2030 and an option to operate the satellites through 2033. The agreement contains customary default and termination provisions, and either party may elect to terminate the agreement for convenience at any time, as provided in the agreement, subject to certain conditions. So yeah, I really doubt Rocket Lab would terminate this agreement. This probably wouldn't realize until 2030. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, of course, I'm not, the complete expert, but I wouldn't be surprised if they realized a good chunk of that up once they're launched, and like maybe a smaller amount just to operate the vehicles, I would think, because, delivering the vehicles is a large part of the value, I would think. And yeah, the other interesting thing is there's no talk of who will be launching this, slated for a 2027 launch. So that's kind of and by the way, I am rocking my Rocket Lab shirt here. There's no talk of who's launching this. It seems like it could be a good fit for Neutron because it's 2027, and hopefully by then they will be launching and will have been launching Neutron for at least a year or two. But you know what? Even if it launches on a Falcon 9 or something else, I'm still happy. It's still great news for the company. It's still a ton of revenue for them. And yeah, I love how they can build these out and make money even if someone else is doing the launching. But, maybe there is a convenience factor there for the customer if they just have the same person build, launch, and operate. A lot more convenient, a lot more, a lot less people to deal with and stuff like that. Yeah, so they're still between 50 to 100 million in revenue. Really? Yeah, I think they might be over 100. Anyway, I'll double check those numbers, Danny. But yeah, they do operate. And then the other thing I saw people discussing, which was kind of interesting, was like, okay, so they're building these satellites, they're operating these satellites. Does that not make it like a space service, like AKA a space application, like they were talking about going to in the future? And I can see why you would think of it that way. The one thing for me, though, is I don't think they actually own the satellites. So yes, they build them. Yes, they are going to operate them, and it shows they can basically do the full stack, right? We already know they're going to be able to do launch. So they can do the full stack building, operating, and providing the data. And since these aren't their own satellites, that they could provide the data to this government customer as well as use them for other things and provide data to other customers. I wouldn't say that this is their like space applications line of business, but it's basically just as close. The only thing is they're getting paid, and the ownership of these satellites will still be with the government. Would be true. I've never traded after hours before, TG. Let me know what price you got. Kind of curious to hear about that. Vince, I don't know if Vince drinks. I've never seen him drink. But yeah, we don't know anything about launch as of yet. And maybe, I don't know, they're government, they're very secretive. We don't really have a lot of information about what they do. Maybe they would fall under the NSSL program that I've talked about previously. So 2027, I think that's under phase 3, I think. Yeah, so your basic, I think that's a good way of putting it, Randall. It's like Constellation as a service. But yeah, Rocket Lab doesn't own the sats and, provide the data to multiple customers. So yeah, this was posted on the Rocket Lab SEC filings page. If you're curious to check it out yourself, you can find it here. And I just wanted to compare a few things. So the big contract we've talked about a lot previously is this MDA Globalstar deal that Rocket Lab signed back in 2022. And this has always been very exciting. It's been a very big deal for them, $143 million. So, nothing to scoff at, but this new deal here, like this is $500 million plus. So this is like more than three times, the previous large deal. Just massive. And when I saw this, I was just thinking to myself, okay, it's like, they're not in the little leagues anymore. They're building out like huge satellites, big constellations. They probably like the prime on this, I guess, because in this deal here with the MDA, basically Apple hires Globalstar, Globalstar hires MDA, and MDA hires Rocket Lab. So they're kind of a subcontractor, not capturing all the revenue, just doing, certain parts of the project. But sounds like, yeah, they're doing everything with this one. So extremely exciting. Curious what's the stock at? Oh, we're above 20% in the after hours here. Did 547? Oh, okay. Wow. I'm excited. And by the way, guys, this is pretty funny, but I have been holding a call option on Rocket Lab, thinking it was going to move up more in the short term, and it didn't. It expires early next year, but I had basically resigned myself to the fact that I was probably going to lose money on this one. It was only a couple $100, and it was kind of just like a fun trade that I would do on the side, not with any of what I consider my main money. But it looks like this one might work out too. So at this point, I've done a few of these call option trades with Rocket Lab. None of them have failed me yet, and I've doubled my money on one or two. Obviously, high risk, high reward. Like, you're either going to double or probably go to zero. So I thought I was going to lose all $200, but this one might be another double. Like, what are the odds? Perfect timing, but you can't predict these sorts of things, right? Which is why the short-term trading is very much closer to gambling than investing, and I kind of recognize that when I do it as well. So the other stuff I wanted to talk about is congratulations on being green, Martin. It feels good. I am also in the green now. Some people have been in the red for quite a long time with Rocket Lab, and yeah, I'm sure it feels good. So congratulations to you, everyone else watching who is in the green. It's great news. And by the way, guys, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Trying to keep building the channel. We've had a quiet couple weeks for me. I don't know. I guess I was a little burnt out and I didn't make as many videos for maybe a week or so. And yeah, the last week's been pretty slow when it comes to subscribers. So I'm starting to pick that up now, and obviously we're getting a bit more news on Rocket Lab and the rest, so that's probably going to help. So anyway, what I was going to say is the entire backlog, this is the Q3 presentation when they had the earnings call. The entire backlog as of the end of Q3, $582 million. This contract, we're looking at like $511 million. That's almost doubling the entire backlog in one go. Like, that's how big it is. It's just huge. You're the reference man? Yeah. They are legit. Even Eric Berger, tweeting, yeah, this Peter J. Beck guy seems like he might actually know what he's doing. Very much legitimate. So yeah, huge. Like, when's the last time you see a company announce a deal that doubles like their entire backlog for the whole company? So this was something that was under a bit of scrutiny lately, as it's a little bit lumpy. It's gone down a little bit, and now we're just like, holy crap. And we have Jed subscribing. Thank you so much, Jed. I do appreciate it. Welcome to the channel, and hope you hang around. So yeah, when's the last time you saw another company sign like one contract, double their entire backlog? Absolutely crazy, just so exciting. So this backlog here, they did say they expect approximately 57% of it to be recognized within 12 months from when this presentation came out. And then obviously we're going to have to redo all our calculations with this new contract. I do have a spreadsheet going where I kind of try to calculate how much I think they'll be worth in the future, and a lot goes into it in terms of, space systems and how much revenue I think they're going to get. So now that we have this contract on the books, like, I'll probably have to rework a lot of that. And probably sounds pretty nerdy, but I'm kind of excited to do that. Yeah, I mean, knowing Rocket Lab, like, how many times has it dropped on good news? It would be hilarious if it dropped tomorrow morning and then when we were in the negatives. You just have to laugh at that, but then it would just be a good buying opportunity, because like, you just can't deny this. Like, sometimes a piece of news comes out and you're like, it can't be that big a deal, but it's like, well, you're doubling your entire backlog. It's a massive contract. It's with the government. They always pay their bills on time. Like, it's not some sketchy company out there that may not pay or something like that. And we have Kamal. Thank you as well, Kamal, for subscribing. I appreciate you joining as well. Does this put to bed any uncertainty about dilution for Neutron? I believe that's what's holding. That's a good question. So, I mean, again, it depends on the margins of this revenue and when it gets recognized, and if this accelerates profitability. I would say it's a very good sign, but I'm not ready to say that they won't ever have to raise any money yet. And no, this one is not haste related. I do not believe. I think it's very important in terms of reputation. Like, we already saw it with that MDA Globalstar deal I was talking about previously. A lot of people got surprised that Rocket Lab got that contract, competing against what they consider like the old school big primes. Hey, Yozo, thank you for subscribing. Sorry, I keep moving my head here to see. I'm going to move this over. Oh, we have a new member, actually, I believe. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Yozo. That is much appreciated. Thanks to all my channel members out there, and yeah, welcome, Yozo. That's amazing. Being here since the IPO, this is your retirement stock. Yeah, I think long term you're going to be good. I know it's been a bumpy road, like it's a long time to get to that point. But the thing is if they weren't making good progress behind the scenes, I would be upset with the stock price. But the stock and the stock price, kind of the company and the stock price, I feel like very disconnected at times, and company still seems to be executing very well. That's what I pay the most attention to, and then the stock at a certain point will follow probably like when the profits, are undeniable. And yeah, we have 115 viewers here. Amazing. Thank you guys all for joining. The other thing I did want to point out was this slide from the Q3 investor earnings call, where they kind of talked about a confidential Constellation customer where they couldn't give us any details. And I'm assuming now that we've got this news, like this is what they were referring to, basically saying it includes a full suite of Rocket Lab Space Systems products. So they have the star trackers, reaction wheels, solar panels, separation system, S-band, L-band radios, flight software, ground software, mission operations. That sounds a lot like what we heard today. And by the way, if you're curious what the kind of components business of Rocket Lab does, they sell a lot of these things individually. So if someone out there is building their satellites, they can buy the reaction wheels, star trackers, and what have you from Rocket Lab. Of course, I think the profit margin is better when they use it all themselves in-house and build the entire satellite themselves. So the profit margin for this deal, building these satellites, should be good, should be very good, I would think. Yeah, HASTE is suborbital. It's not going to orbit. It's to test like hypersonics. And I think they test a lot of like anti-missile technology and stuff like that on HASTE. It's always very secretive. Space Force. Down 50% on this, and I'm all in, bought at the SPAC because it's so... Yeah, it's very hard, Stan. And I understand why you got excited. It's just... Yeah, every SPAC, like I was saying in a previous video, it seems like every SPAC, the first year is rough on shareholders. At least that's kind of what I'm seeing. There's probably exceptions to the rule. And I know SPACs were pretty new at the time, so we didn't have a lot of experience with them. And the new rule I've kind of put in place just for myself personally is that I'm never going to buy a SPAC in the first year. I'm just not going to do it unless maybe if the company is already profitable and, they have a reasonable earnings per share and a reasonable price to earnings ratio already, then I might consider it. Or maybe there's some weird scenario where I consider it. But for the most part, like, I don't think I'll touch a SPAC within the first year of going public. So that's just my personal rule. And, it even held true for Rocket Lab, although obviously I think Rocket Lab is a great deal at these levels. Take another look at the after hours. We're up to plus 22%. That's amazing. We're closing in on plus, 1/4 of the value of the stock going up in a single day. So, it seems like the market is recognizing how important this deal is. Yeah. Yeah, and I get it, Stan. I was a rookie too, and I've made several big mistakes at times. Luckily, your mistake, I don't think is that bad. Like, I'm pretty confident you're gonna go above $10 at some point on Rocket Lab. So, could you have gotten a better price? I mean, yes, but is it the absolute end of the world? Like, I think you'll do okay, and just learn from it and move on, I guess. There was, I thought, one other thing I was going to share about this, but I think I accidentally closed that tab. We have Stock Track Girl here, by the way. She actually was covering Rocket Lab since even before I did. So if you're not familiar with her, you can always check out her channel as well on Twitter. That's kind of all the news I have. Again, I don't have a ton of details on what this constellation will do. I assume it's kind of like, government, probably observation, could be Space Force, could be military. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. Hey, Matt, thanks for joining. That's the other thing, Vrail, I was going to say is... So the market cap of Rocket Lab lately has been a little over $2 billion. And this single contract is worth over $500 million in revenue. So we're talking a quarter of the value of the entire company in revenue just from this single deal. It's really amazing. Like, yeah. Hard-hitting questions. What did I miss? I don't know what you mean, well, Lambo. I'm not sure I got that reference. Mid 2024. Yeah, I struggle. I don't try to make those short-term predictions. It could be possible that it's at those levels by mid 2024, but I just like to hold on for the ride at this point. 550 is the key level. Getting a monthly close above there would set us up for another attempt. I'll take your word on it, Cyberface. I think you're pretty good usually at the technical stuff, if I recall correctly. Attempt a higher high. Yeah, no, I'm excited, and I'm curious to check my option actually to see if but I don't think I can see it after hours. Tomorrow I'll check the value of my option. It will probably have more than doubled in a single day from this. Like sometimes I just get lucky. Like I don't even claim to be smart about that. Like I just probably getting lucky on this one. Leaps I have considered doing. And I just want to be like 100% sure that by the time the option expires, the company will be profitable. Because that's when like I'm really confident that the stock price will move, is when they're profitable and they have EPS and they have a price to earnings. So I'd really just want to be sure of that. I've been waiting for like more distant leaps to come out, but it's something, especially if the stock stayed below $5 a share, I'd certainly consider leaps as like a fun trade. I wouldn't liquidate my core positions and buy leaps, but I would buy some with other money I free up, and I think it'd be pretty fun to track and see how the two compare. Could be it could be a fun move. Yeah, seriously, great news, Cyberface. I freaking told you, Matt and Vince, Walbs as well. Yeah, classified. Sorry to hear about the Astra losses there, Ramu. Yeah, I mean, they were saying a lot of things that sounded very exciting and understandable why people got into it. It just, the execution ultimately doesn't seem like it was there at the end of the day. Yeah, I guess I'll show you guys let's see if we can find... So I got this notification today, as someone in the chat already mentioned. What was his name? Martin Lucas. And he mentioned
This is the story.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I even want to watch this. Oh, well. So he's basically saying... tagged me in his video, and his SPE stock scam lies not on my watch, and he tagged me. This is going back to a video I made a little while ago talking about Virgin Galactic and how I thought Chamath wasn't really as transparent with shareholders as he should be, and in general hasn't been. Like, I show a clip. He goes on CNBC, basically says, I would never sell Tesla. It's great. Why would I do that? Then I would have to try and find something else to buy. And then a few months later, he has another interview, and the interviewer's like, are you still holding Tesla? And he says, no, I sold. And I'm just like, that's the kind of behavior I don't like, because people really believe in him and like look up to him. And when he says things, they believe it, which is fine if he really believes it too. But when he says things that he doesn't believe, and he's just wanting other people to continue pumping the stock while he quietly sells it, that's the kind of thing I don't like. So anyway, we'll see. I think Martin Lucas is more bullish on Virgin Galactic, so he might be anti-Dave, and we might be getting some drama here. Whoa, an hour long. I'll take a look at this later, but yeah, maybe we have some drama going. I don't know. I think Martin is also more of like a short-term trader than me, so yeah, that was just the funny notification I got. Oh yeah, and Richard Branson also did say he's not going to put any more money in Virgin Galactic, so that's also a bit of a concern for them. But yeah. Any other Rocket Lab news? Has the official Twitter account said anything yet? No. Can you imagine being... No, I do not. Do you know him, Matt? I don't actually know very many other, YouTubers, content creators. Not until I started talking to Vince, and then I guess you, is it starting to talk to a few other people a little bit more. And then there's a few other Rocket Lab guys I'll talk to, like Scott O, very smart with his spreadsheets and stuff like that. ULA fail on contracts. Northrop looking to sell. Anything Virgin touches falls. I mean, it hasn't been good, you know. Virgin Orbit went out of business. So validating. Love it. Yes, I love it too. Thank you again, the Yowzo. I do remember you joining the channel members, buying Dave a beer. Yeah, he must mean Lockheed. Yeah, I think we did have news recently as well that the launch for ULA, their first launch for Vulcan, got delayed, so kind of disappointing there. I was curious if you guys would be interested in a live stream of that or not really. Yeah, I did reach out to him. We might, like, he seemed kind of open to it, but maybe not like super enthusiastic about it, so I wasn't too sure. He is great. I think the only thing is, like, you know, he loves diving into the spreadsheets, going real deep with the math, and that's extremely important, but I think some other people maybe... I have no beers in the house, Martin. I was just thinking that as well. I should be having a drink to celebrate. Yeah, I have nothing. I probably make it seem like I'm drinking drinking all the time over here, but I don't actually drink that much except for socially. So I don't usually like always have, you know, a 24 pack of beers in my fridge or anything like that. Yeah. Richard Branson is a salesman and I don't trust his companies. Yeah, I don't know a ton. Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't know a ton about Richard Branson's other ventures. So I can't really comment on that. I mean, obviously, all I can really talk about is what I've seen from Virgin Galactic and Virgin Orbit. And yeah, I haven't really liked what I've seen, I'm sorry to say. Still printing. What are we at after hours? 22% up. It's hype. Amazing. I'm toasted. Any other questions you guys wanted to... Any other questions you guys had or things you want to talk about? I mean, obviously, I think we'll hopefully get... Yeah, I need to make a spreadsheet with my beer expenses and probably, you know, increase my investment in the beer. I think that could pay off in the long run. More to prove. Rocket Lab is a great company. Yeah, great company. So, and this is what I've been wondering about with my model as well. Is, you know, I think hopefully with launch, when we're looking at Electron, when we're looking at Neutron, we've got enough guidance to be in the right ballpark. But I really didn't know how, and I guess I still don't, but this provides some clarity. I really didn't know just how fast the space systems was going to grow. And it looks like it's really going to grow fast. So again, this might change things for the model. I might have to increase my, you know, price target. And, you know, right now I'm sitting here, I'm probably like a lot of you, I'm sitting here going, God, I wish I bought more shares. And, you know, I have a decent amount, but yeah, frustrating. Maybe there'll be future opportunities, though. You never know. This company can be frustrating at times. You know, we had... Go back to the chart. When we were sitting here at 750, of course, I was also sitting there like, God, I wish I bought more shares. But it did come back down. So yeah, long term, I don't know for sure if like this is the time we don't see the fours again. Let me know what you guys think. Is this news enough to kind of permanently propel the stock into the fives and have us kind of establish a new base there and not drop down into the low fours again? I'd be interesting to hear your take on that for sure in the comments. Gross margin from space systems. Yeah, I don't think they have shared it completely. They've said they're trying to get Solero up to like 33% gross margin, and that's the lowest line of business, the solar. So the others, therefore, must be higher than 30%, I would think. And I would imagine, I think the target's got to be at least 40%, right? Like, I would think. I mean, I'm open to hearing your comments as well in the chat. Drip, drip every week. Yeah, well, if you can, lag into it, just buy shares every week or whatever. That's often a great way to go, for sure. Wallops launches next 4 quarters. 7 to 9 from Haste. So Chris, Haste kind of is Electron, right? But I know what you mean by saying like Electron versus Haste. I guess you're talking about orbital versus suborbital. They only confirmed in the last earnings call, they were asked that. They said like 3 or 4, but I feel like there should be more in the wings that maybe they haven't gotten confirmation on and they didn't want to promise. I think they've said long term, like that Wallops wouldn't go beyond 12 launches for Electron, so I don't think they're like ever going, 20 plus or anything like that. But Haste is looking good. It's really helped out with the demand for Electron. Kind of makes you frustrated that they weren't able to get that launch pad going earlier and they were waiting for that FTS system certification from NASA for like a year and a half or something. Yeah, that was frustrating. Sold 600 of his Rocket Lab. Okay. I mean, I think he's a shorter term trader, so very different style to me. Oh, what did we just get? Did I miss the notification? Subscribed. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. Very much appreciated. Oh, John, welcome. First time launching, eh? Watching. Thank you so much for watching. Or at least first time watching live. I do appreciate it. Big 3 companies, Rocket Lab, SKYT, and VT. Yeah. Oh, wow. Matt, gifting a membership. That is amazing. Who did you give a membership to? Does it show up here? Maybe the note of... I didn't see. My setup here is still... Cosmic Constructs. Welcome to the channel members, Cosmic. Appreciate every membership, and obviously, Matt, thank you once again. Still not sure what you meant by Lambo, Martin to 0. Do you think Terran Orbital will get the... I don't know enough about Terran Orbital to say, like, I think they were in some funding trouble, weren't they? I made like one video about them like ages ago. I think it was over a year. Kind of decided it wasn't one I was going to invest in. They're sitting at around $1. That's right at the delisting area where you have to worry in terms of financials. How are we doing here? Yeah, so burning like 81 million in the... That's annually. Burning 31 million in the last quarter. Yeah. Yeah, welcome Cosmic, and thanks Matt. You're the best, obviously. Maybe sometime I need to have you on my channel, Matt. I've had Vince, but I don't think I've had you. So yeah, if you're ever up for it, I'm sure we could come up with something to talk about. Lunar is an interesting one. Oh, Lamborghinis. Okay. It'll have to go up a lot for that. What do you think about Lunar? It's an interesting company. I'll pull up the ticker here just because why not? And I did mention it in a previous video actually as well, because obviously they followed the SPAC trend, which... I'm not going to lie, has made me at times want to short some SPACs right after they go public, but I don't think it's worth it. Just, put your money into a company you love instead of shorting other companies, unless there's like something crazy going on and you think there's fraud. But anyway, so yeah, they kind of stabilized at 10, then they dropped down way more. They're down to 2. They are like for real though. Like they're not a fraud. They have a lander going to the moon very soon. It looks like it's probably... Oh, Cam, thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated. I I hope so, Ghost Eye. $10 soon. Clearly, you weren't here. Yeah, I guess I wasn't around for the when Lambo. I was in the market in 2021. I was flying high and really enjoying myself. Clearly, not so much in 2022, but I was definitely not. It sounds like my portfolio is not quite where Matt's is, unfortunately. Where's your sub? Yeah, Ghost Eye. It said you dropped off the list, so I just figured, you didn't feel like it or something like that. Or are you talking about membership? Anyway, you obviously you don't feel like you have to. Like you've donated so much. If you definitely don't need to be a channel member. Oh, and you're back. Okay. I never even modified my intro to take you off, so that's easy. Thank you, Ghost Eye, for rejoining. I do appreciate it. I don't know if I can do the weekly this week. It's on Saturday. We're getting pretty close to Christmas here, and I've got like family stuff going on. Maybe I can. I might like to. Wow, I guess You're poor. What are you talking about, Matt? I've heard you talking about a certain amount of digits and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you're doing fine for yourself. Maybe you're not driving around a Lambo. I don't know about that, but your average in Lunar is 3, and I'm thinking of taking the loss and sell. That's a tough one. Yeah, I did look at Lunar, and again, remember I talked about this previously. I made a rule for myself. I'm not going to invest in a SPAC during the first year. And I held to that rule for this one. So it's a tough situation. So how are we doing on the financials? Again, they have some pretty cool contracts. And if this Artemis stuff really does take off, like they're well positioned. But I think they do have some cash troubles. So how's the balance sheet going? We have 25 million in cash and cash equivalents right now. So, or wait, that was annually, right? Balance sheet. Okay, 40 million. So they must have raised capital. That must have been yeah, they raised capital. Okay. That's decent. How fast are they burning? How fast are they burning? Cash flow. Holy crap, we're getting tons of donation, guys. This is amazing. Amazing live stream. Thank you, John Wolf. I really appreciate your super chat. Tatiana, 2018 Tahoe. I guess this is kind of my Christmas gift. By the way, I was blown away. I got a gift. I guess it was a super chat, like a $99 one from, I think it was Sean today. And I was like shocked. Like I've never gotten a gift that high. I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. So yeah, thank you guys. It's much appreciated for sure. Still not sure what you should do about Lunar here. I don't think I can advise you on this one. Net cash provided by operating activities was -7 million in that last quarter, so they have some runway. I assume they're getting some revenue from their lander, which I think is supposed to go to the moon like in Q1 of 2024. So I'd imagine they're getting paid from NASA by that. But I would have to spend like several hours looking into this for you before I could give you any kind of a recommendation on that. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, it's just not one I've really gone deep on. So many donations, yeah. For Rocket Maintenance joint. Well, Ramu, we were all on the weekly last week, actually. It was a good time. I definitely like hanging out with both of them. I guess Vince is probably asleep right now, so he'll wake up and find out all about the news about this latest contract. And yeah, I wonder if there's anything else coming up Rocket Lab-wise. Nothing official. Space Case Taylor, also a decent follow. Oh, that was the RKLB. that just a picture? Yeah. I mean, pretty exciting in the after hours. Mostly, like, nothing too new. This huge sign of validation that Rocket Lab can scale beyond providing components into building satellites, which are obviously higher value with its manufacturing business. Yeah, I'd agree. Like, obviously, you're going to capture way more of the value manufacturing the entire satellite versus just selling the components. And then eventually, even operating them, they'll get some more money from that. And then eventually operating their own satellites, get some money from that. Thanks, Vrail, for saying that. I do appreciate it. You know, sometimes being like reasonable and not saying the stock is going to go to 100 tomorrow might not help you in the short run, where you could probably get more viewers or whatever by trying to be like extra hype and saying, oh, you can double your money in 5 days. But, you know, hopefully in the long run, being reasonable and kind of thinking these things through and being a long-term investor will pay off for me and like everyone who does it. A lot of interesting and cool small space companies that I'd like to invest in, but unlike Rocket Lab, it's hard to see where they generate real growth. Yeah, I mean, it's been tough because I kind of consider I've kind of turned into a bit of a space investment guy online. And there's so many I look at and I just think it's tough. You look at the cash they have, and it's just so much money to start scaling up to reach the profitability point. Like in space, there's no real way around it. You can't just like start with a shoestring budget in a dorm room or something. You kind of need like multi-millions of dollars of funding to get anything going. And yeah, it's tough. I think, again, MDA is a legitimate company in Canada. They have actual earnings and are actually profitable, but this downside of that is they're probably not growing as fast as some of these other companies. But, you know, if you want a safer company in your stock portfolio, maybe you can look at them. Planet Labs has had an extremely disappointing year. They've adjusted down their revenue guidance like 4 times. So their revenue guidance for 2024 is now way below where the SPAC presentation said it would be. And I mean, it's tough. I like the company. I liked the company. I always liked Will Marshall and like how he was talked about in When the Heavens Went on Sale, and he seemed like a cool guy, but I don't know about him as a CEO. Maybe not as competent as Peter and the gang. And Planet's always talking about their big pipeline, which is basically, you know, they're close to deals with certain companies and they're negotiating and whatever, but they're not signed. But they keep talking about this pipeline and saying how huge it is, but it's never quite materializing. So tough one on that side. I was thinking about buying more shares and I didn't end up doing it because there was some bad news justifying the move down. Although I'm sighing a lot. They do still think they can go profitable next year, mostly due to cutting, layoffs and cutting costs as opposed to being a growth beast like they used to. So perhaps there's a chance, interest rates come down, there's more demand for their products and they return to growth. If they do that, today will look like a massive bargain. Right now, though, the growth rate they're forecasting is much lower, at least than it used to be. So that makes it difficult. Oh, I didn't know people on Reddit were talking about this. That's great. I have to say, I don't know, was it the space? I used to hang out more on Reddit than I do these days, I have to admit. There's just so many places, right? So you have my own Discord, which is like where I probably should spend most of my time to support that and promote it. And then Twitter, obviously, you get a lot of good news there. And then Reddit, and then Stock Twits, and then Space Stocks Discord. And there's just so many different places. But thank you for joining RJ Williams. Is that Russell? Are you Russell? Let me know if you're Russell, because if you are, thanks again. Our Rocket Lab. Oh, it's the Rocket Lab Discord. Okay. I should really hang out more there as well. Planet Lab is going to end being part of Rocket Lab. I don't know. That's a bold call. Again, I don't think they should make more acquisitions right now because I think personally they should conserve capital until Neutron is running and they're cash flow positive. I mean, once they're cash flow positive, I have no problem with acquisitions. I just want to feel safe. That's all. So, not Russell. Okay. No worries. Thanks for tuning in anyway, RJ. Very happy that we've had 100+ viewers for a pretty extended period of time here. It's honestly amazing. I don't expect it. I've done some live streams where I've had 30 viewers, and I still consider that good. So thanks all you guys for joining and continuing to hang around. I do appreciate it. And we've had several donations. Those are amazing. Gifted membership from Matt. If you haven't checked out Matt's channel, you should do that as well. He also talks about Rocket Lab as well as Palantir. Is called Matt Money. I'm sure you can pull it up on YouTube. And applying to work at Rocket, that would be difficult, Craig. I mean, again, I'm not a aerospace engineer, so I don't know what kind of role I could have. It would have to be like IT or something like that. But I've got a family here, so I don't think I could do it. I would love to do it. It would be cool for sure, but I don't think I could uplift my entire life here, unfortunately. Getting married next year, as I've said, and got a house here that I've been renovating and working on, and got my job here that's pretty good job, and then I've obviously got friends and family, so yeah, it'd be very difficult. Yeah, Matt is the man, as Chris said. Has Rocket Lab ever talked about place-to-place transportation on Earth? John, I think there was some kind of a grant they got from the Space Force where they said they would study that. I think it was a small amount of money to study point-to-point transportation. I think it would be for Neutron. Yeah, here it is here. They signed an agreement with U.S. Transcom to explore using neutron and electron rockets to deliver cargo around the world. So not people, at least at first, but it would be cargo. They said point-to-point space transportation offers a new ability to move quickly around the world, all that. So yeah, not bad, getting... I always love it when you get paid to develop something you're going to develop anyway. This is small potatoes, but Rocket Lab got $24 million from the U.S. Air Force to work on Neutron, something they were going to work on anyway. Of course, Vulcan got over $1 billion from the U.S. government, so Neutron, $24 million is not much. Starship got some too for developing propellant transfer in orbit and stuff like that. So not Rocket Lab alone, but not now. In years from now, I think Planet... Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could be right, Francisco. I mean, we'll have to see. They do want to operate their own constellation at some point. Rocket Lab, that is. So, and they have made a lot of acquisitions in the past. It's kind of a different strategy than SpaceX, who seems to mostly just develop everything in-house from scratch. Because, Rocket Lab made all these acquisitions from the reaction wheels, star trackers, getting tired for a second, solar panels, and then, yeah, SpaceX just comes along and builds it all from scratch, I guess. Planet Labs. Yeah, I would agree with that, Randall. I would say Planet Labs... I would agree. It's probably generally regarded as second best, or some people like it better than Rocket Lab, although that's kind of fallen off with their recent, lowering their guidance. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other space SPAC I would rate more highly than Planet Labs. I don't think MDA was a SPAC. Can the stock squeeze? I don't know how many people are short Rocket Lab. It is kind of funny though. I guess the sales from like Adam Spice and everyone else must be like pre-scheduled and they're just regular intervals. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of rules around when they can make trades knowing what they know for inside, but you know, Spice sold shares not that long ago and now this news comes out. Where are we in the after hours anyway? Does anyone else have a space SPAC they think might be better than Planet Labs or even Rocket Lab? Some people are huge on ASTS. Oh, Johnny, you're big on ASTS? I want to see the revenue. That's what I want to see. I've heard that management is not great. That's the big debate is like Planet Labs is valued cheaper and their price to sales is cheaper. So some people would consider it a better deal, but I don't think they're growing their revenue as fast anymore, at least. And I don't think their management is as good. I'll take Peter over Will Marshall. I'm sorry, Will, if you ever see this, which I very much doubt. Above 6 to 7 before any short squeeze. Yeah. It's possible. Let's see if we can see anything in the statistics here. Price to sales 8.94. Short percent of float 6.93. I have a feeling, like I don't look into short squeezes that much. I have a feeling this isn't enough to see a huge short squeeze. But let me know what you guys think. I mean, it's not something I've really ever gunned for. This isn't some well, yeah. But, you know, I can't blame people for getting excited and looking for a short-term move. Is anyone here thinking about taking gains and thinking that it might, you know, drop back down again and buying back in at the, you know, $4.50 range? Because that's the gamble, right? Because some people have done it before and it's worked out. We've kind of got this base here that it keeps returning to. I've talked to people that said, oh yeah, I sold it at like 6 and I bought back in. But there will come a time when it doesn't come back. And that's kind of what I was asking before, if you think this might be the time where it shoots up and doesn't come back or not. We'll have to see. Trastra. 6.8% short float. Yeah, again, I don't know if 6.8% is high. I don't think so. Selling at 30. Well, that's certainly a good return. Yeah. Keeping it to January. We'll see. I can't bear to sell it. Like, if I sold it, say it even goes to 7. If I sell it and then it doesn't drop back down and goes to like say 10 and just stays, like, it would be so frustrating to me, like, because I don't want to miss the rest of the way, right? But based on the technicals, I can understand why some people might consider doing something like that. Not even considering trimming until it's well north of 20. I like your style, John. Started. This is amazing timing for you, Avid. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name properly. I do apologize. Avid? Anyway. Holding. Yeah. It'd be 6 figures at that point. Again, sitting here thinking I wish I had bought more shares, but what can you do? At the time... And that's not to say the opportunity is over to add shares either, but obviously, you know, you can never time things perfectly. I'm not just long, I'm long. I like that saying. Should get a poster, put it up in the back so you can see it. I'm not just long, I'm long. Sell about 20% if the move is about 20% in one day. That's probably understandable. Yeah, I agree with you, Timothy. If it doesn't come back, you could average down, but yeah. Take profit if you sell 25% DCA, guys. Yeah, I mean, everyone's situation is different, right? If some people want to take profits, totally understandable, and people might need cash in different time frames. So, daughter's account. I love that, Craig. That's amazing. I want to do that once I have kids. That's so cool. Not thinking about selling until the 2030s. Yeah, very long time horizon for me. Oh, wow. Well, we have officially passed an hour in this quick live stream that I thought I was going to go on for about 10 minutes. So, thank you all for tuning in. I definitely kept going because we had so many viewers and subscribers watching and great interaction and new subs and all that kind of stuff. Is there any final questions before I call it a stream? I'll just give a few minutes here for the delay to kick in. And by the way, while we're waiting for any other questions, I just want to once again thank John Wolf for the super chat, John Lewis for the subscription, Guna was subscribed, Jordan Allen subscribed, the Yowza became a member. Thank you, Yowzo. Kamal subscribed, Jed Nauman subscribed. So yeah, great stream with the all the new subs and that kind of thing. It's been great. Will Kramer review Rocket Lab now? No. Kramer will not review Rocket Lab until they are cash flow positive, and that's kind of why, again, I think that at that point is when like the institutions and a lot of people like him would start to pay attention, is where I think the stock could really take off and would really have a solid base, is when they, are profitable. So someone like him, he's been saying for ages, don't invest in anything that isn't profitable yet. So I don't expect him to turn bullish on Rocket Lab anytime soon. Once they get profitable, then maybe we can talk. I did watch Matt most of that interview, I believe. I came away a little bit more impressed with Jeff than I was previously. Like I've always been... I guess Jeff is in some ways kind of the guy we all love to kind of poke fun at and stuff, but with all his money and whatever, he still can't get New Glenn going. But he came across as a bit more knowledgeable, and then like talking about how, yes, Blue Origin needs to go faster. And it was an interesting interview. Definitely worth checking out if anyone in the chat wasn't aware that Jeff Bezos was on the Lex Fridman interview. He did say he's very confident that New Glenn will launch next year, so we'll see if that turns out to be true or not. There's been a lot of skepticism around it, a lot of delays for New Glenn, but we did see some hardware recently, so it does seem like at least they are making some progress on that front. The Rocket Lab Discord server Verail should be in the description of this video. If it's not, if you click on any of my other videos, it should be in the description there. You should be able to join us, and we'll all talk about Rocket Lab as well as other space stocks in there. That's my Discord server. I don't know if there's another one out there that's specifically only Rocket Lab, but to be honest, the majority of the discussion is usually around Rocket Lab anyway. Sorry you missed it, Stein, but I'm just getting ready to wrap it up, and thank you for tuning in. Better late than never. See you guys all at 5:20 tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, we don't want the Kramer curve. Oh, he was referring to the Rocket Lab subreddit. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it at that. Let's go. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks again for all the new subscriptions, memberships, donations, super chats. Very much appreciated. I'm just think this is amazing news for the company. Such a massive contract, very important customer, very reliable customer who's definitely going to be able to pay their bills and is not going to go out of business or anything like that. Big show of confidence from them in Rocket Lab, and they're like the real deal now when it comes to manufacturing full satellites, not just components and not just as a subcontractor either. Huge for the company. A quarter of the entire value of the whole company and pretty much doubling the entire backlog. Amazing